Yeah, you didn't read that wrong. This is real. This is 100% actually fucking real. Holy shit. I was just out on a walk and I'm just looking on my phone and then I see this image and I'm like, oh cool, they're gonna do, at first I misread it. That I'm like, oh cool, they're gonna do more Godzilla versus Marvel variant covers. And then I did digging, it's like, oh no, it's an actual crossover. Like, it's a legit 6-issue crossover starting in next March. Oh, wow. Wow. This is actually happening. Godzilla versus the Marvel Universe is actually going to become a thing. Now, there are some caveats that make this a little more interesting than your normal crossover. And it's funny, too, because think on this. I really want you to think, before we go any further, we're getting a Godzilla vs. Marvel crossover and a Godzilla vs. Justice League sequel crossover in the same year. Can you just think on that? I know it's two different Godzillas. I'll get more into Godzilla vs. Marvel. And yes, I will be doing another video on this, going further and talking about ideas for and what we want to see with my good friend Matt Denian. Hopefully later today, so stay tuned for that, but it could be tomorrow. Who knows? But yeah, think on that real fast. We're getting Godzilla fighting the Justice League and the Marvel Universe, the DC and Marvel Universe, simultaneously. And people bitch that there's too much Godzilla. Shut the fuck up. Like, all the Godzilla fans I've seen talk about, oh, Godzilla's overexposed. Really? You want to go back to getting fuck all? Those 10 years of fuck all after Godzilla Final Wars? You know, do you want to go back to that? Is that what I'm hearing? Oh, you don't? Well, allow me to retort. Anyway, so when I heard this news, when I looked into it, I was like, you know that scene in The Simpsons where Homer sees the free trampoline? That was me at the moment. Like, that was, I was rushing to get home as fast as I could. I was like, Trampoline! And just run home. Yeah, that was me. That was my reaction. So let's get into it. Now, what's interesting is that this will not be called Godzilla vs. the Marvel Universe. This will actually be, treated as an event in Marvel Comics, where each issue is going to be from a different Marvel title. The first one starting in Fantastic Four, I believe Fantastic Four number 25. And yeah, basically they're going to have, in different issues, they're going to have a different Marvel character encountering Godzilla in a different era of time. So yeah, that's another thing, is that it's not going to be just Godzilla. It's going to be Godzilla in different eras of his life. So we're going to see different variants of Godzilla. Not only that, Godzilla will not be alone. They will have other Toho monsters along with Godzilla. So yeah, and we don't know who's going to be on there, but from the promo image we do have a pretty good idea as to who is probably going to be a part of this crossover. We do know, like I said, Fantastic Four will be the start of this storyline and will actually involve Godzilla teaming up with the Silver Surfer in order to save the Fantastic Four from Galactus's new herald, King Ghidorah. Let me say that again so the back row can hear it. We're getting King Ghidorah, the Herald of Galactus. This sounds like some fanfiction-y shit, and I'm all for it. Yeah, so we don't know, other than the Fantastic Four, we don't know exactly who the other titles are, but they did say that other characters like the X-Men, Spider-Man, and Thor will be a part of it. So I imagine the other 5 titles are going to be Hulk, the Avengers, Spider-Man, X-Men, and those are going to be the other 5 titles right there. I think we can infer that's going to be the other 5 titles is Hulk, Spider-Man, Avengers, X-Men, and I would imagine either Thor or Black Panther as a one and done story, or Captain America. So yeah. Now, what's interesting is that this also isn't being treated as like a Marvel IDW crossover. IDW doesn't look, they did not mention jack all about IDW at all. So they said exclusively with Toho. So that kind of tells me that IDW got burned in this crossover, because like I thought, oh, they're opening the door to like crossing over with outside of the company, because I thought Marvel was just going to be like, oh, we're going to just do in-house stuff and maybe work with Subaraya on this Ultraman crossover, and that's really it. Like, we're not going to do anything else. But I guess working with Subaraya, like, can we also talk about that they're working with both Subaraya and Toho, two vastly different Japanese companies? Yeah. Now, I know some people are going to be like, oh, the Godzilla variant comic should have been our first guess. Really? See, I just thought it was like a cool celebration for Godzilla's 70th anniversary and kind of reveling in the fact that Godzilla was part of the Marvel Universe back in the 70s. That's all I thought it was, because there's no way IDW and Toho and Disney are going to like work together willingly on a project like this. Like, I had no, like, illusion that was actually going to be a possibility. Yeah. So, that was my that was really my thought. Because, here's the thing. Could you just, like, imagine there were a lot of difficulties for the Avengers Ultraman crossover to just get out there, and it's still getting delayed a lot. So, I can only imagine, like, there was no way that we were going to get, like, you know, Marvel was going to talk to IDW, and IDW talks to Toho, who talks to Disney, who talks to Marvel, who talks to Toho. You see what it is? You see how fucking hard it is? So I guess, and I'm sorry, IDW, you got cut out of the deal. It feels kind of shitty if that's true, that IDW, the comic book rights owner, got cut out of this deal, which is kind of shitty, but at the same time, I hope they get some kickback. That's all I'm going to say, is I hope they get some kickback in any kind of regard. Yeah. So there we go. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so let's talk about some, like, ideas, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna go more in depth with Matt when I do a sequel video on this. Because Matt's got some ideas. In fact, I accidentally called Matt at work. I was so, like, I was just so excited. I, like, called Matt, and I'm like, he's like, hey, I'm at work. Oh, shit, sorry. So I was so excited to, like, I was just, like, just a kid who just found the golden ticket. Like, that was my whole thing. Because I never thought this would happen. I don't think any of us thought this would ever happen in our lifetime, that we would see Godzilla back in the, fighting in the Marvel Universe, and not just him, the other Toho monsters. Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about, like, some perspective ideas for monster encounters. And first and foremost, I really want to see, I 100% believe we're going to get Hulk versus Godzilla. Like, it's bound to happen. I personally, the one I want, and I know Matt's watching this and going, yeah, I want this too, is Godzilla versus Fin Fang Foom. We have to have, in a comic, whether it be in Avengers or one of these titles, you have got to have Godzilla fight Fin Fang Foom. You have got to have Godzilla versus Foom. That has to happen. It was a missed opportunity back in the 70s. You can't miss that opportunity again. So, I know a lot of people are like, oh, we're going to finally see Hulk versus Godzilla. And we've had Godzilla fight Thor when he fought the Avengers back in the 70s. But we never had Hulk versus Godzilla, and I'm like, it's overrated. But I just want Godzilla versus Fin Fang Foom. Like, that's the one that's something I think a lot of us have wanted to see, and that was a missed opportunity that we never got in the Marvel comic, in the original Marvel Godzilla comics. So, yeah, that's my number one right there, is Godzilla versus Fin Fang Foom. Others I would love to see, like, Space Godzilla attack the Impossible City, the home of the current new base of the Avengers during the Jed McKay run. Oh, would love to see Godzilla fight Krakoa. Since this is Godzilla in different eras, it would be kind of cool to see Godzilla attack Krakoa, whether it be the original Krakoa from the new X-Men from Chris Claremont, or we go back to the Krakoa era of X-Men and have Godzilla lay siege to Krakoa, and the island, as well as the other mutants, like the citizens of Krakoa, try to battle Godzilla back. I would really love to see that. I would love to see Godzilla. Of course, I'm hoping we get Godzilla versus Galactus in the Fantastic Four story. Absolutely would love Godzilla versus Galactus in that storyline. For others, would love to see like maybe a Mechagodzilla Spider Slayer or Mechagodzilla Sentinel, like a Sentinel Mechagodzilla. I would fucking buy a Sentinel version of Mechagodzilla, like created by Orchis or, by the Trask family, like in a collaboration with the aliens of the Hunter M Nebula, the Simians, and they make. I would buy that toy. I would buy that Bandai movie monster in a heartbeat. Same with Cosmic, Power Cosmic Herald of Galactus Ghidorah. These are toys that Bandai's probably looking at, like just kind of stroking themselves off at the thought of all the money they're gonna make. So I already imagine that's the mental image of like, you're gonna make Ghidorah into Herald of Galactus? What's he gonna look like? Oh, slow down. I'm almost there. Oh, I'm awful. Anyway, so the word elated doesn't describe how I'm feeling. Like, that's not the proper word for how I'm feeling at the moment. It is, I am beyond cloud 9. I'm on cloud 69. Bow chicka bow wow. And I'm like got that Tiny Tim song playing in my head right now. The fact that we are getting this, and it also opens the door. Could we get, Godzilla versus Ultraman? That now opens that door too. Could we actually get Tsuburaya and Toho? If we never get it in TV, could we get it with Marvel being the go-between? That's another thing, like, if this does well, do we have to ask ourselves, could we get Godzilla versus Ultraman with Toho playing nice, and maybe playing nice with Tsuburaya, and have Godzilla versus Ultraman, whether that be with IDW in the in-between? Who knows? Yeah, I'm beyond excited for this. I cannot wait for this to be an actual crossover, to actually see this. And again, Godzilla's fighting the Marvel and DC universe simultaneously. There's now nowhere Godzilla can't go. So when's Godzilla versus Transformers, Image? Come on. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of Godzilla versus the Marvel universe? Are you guys excited? Are you guys not? What Marvel and Kaiju team-ups and mashups are you hoping to see? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time, the Multiverse.